Woke up this morning, I had three things on my mind. The mountains, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Don't mean to flex my Ram Rebel on y'all back there. Every man needs a truck. If you don't have a truck, then you need to get your Bitcoin up so you can get one. So I had to come up yesterday up here to the mountains to pick up some ammo, because I don't know if you know, ammo's out everywhere. Got a big hunting trip planned this weekend. And I woke up this morning at our little cabin, because, I ain't doing any real camping. None of that. We're glamping around here. So woke up this morning, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're down. Ethereum drops below 520. Bitcoin back below 18,000. And you may be saying, oh, but BitBoy, you said this and you said that. I know I say a lot of things, but here's the deal. The deal is we've been waiting for one last dip. Is this it? No, this is not it. Do I believe that there is a much larger dip coming? Yes, I would say so. I would say I do believe that there's a larger dip coming at the end of this month, according to the historical Bitcoin chart. However, does that mean that it's coming for sure? No, absolutely not. There's a chance that this could be the last dip that we see before we head to all-time highs. It feels like right now, it's recalibrating. The Bitcoin and Ethereum are getting ready to do something. Yesterday Ethereum kind of popped off, did its thing. Now it's down a little bit. Couldn't possibly sustain that giant of a pump. You want to know why? Because we're not to parabolic movement yet. Right now, we are still on the up and up. If you go look at the Bitcoin chart for the last 30 days, what you will see, bottom left to upper right, almost a straight line. When we're talking about charts, crazy chart movements, is about as close to a straight line as you'll find for an asset that is climbing as much as Bitcoin has. It's been very slow, very methodical. There has not been a parabolic movement. We will not get to parabolic movement on this chart until next year, okay? So when you get pullbacks like this, when you get Ethereum pulling back from 550 to 525, you have to say, regardless of whether there's a bigger dip coming or not, this is a good time to go ahead and load back up. If you've got money sitting on the sidelines, this is a good time. Take some of that money on the sidelines, put it back in cryptocurrency, put it back in Bitcoin, put it back in Ethereum, but make sure you still have some more on the side in case we have a much larger dip, which I do believe is coming. I do believe it's coming. The most likely scenario is Bitcoin hits 20K, gets very close, falls down tremendously, maybe to the 17,000, 16, 17,000 area. A lot of people calling for 14,000. A lot of people saying 14,000 is where you want to watch out for. Could we see that? Could we see a 30% dip in one day? Yeah, absolutely. But the charts don't seem to suggest that right now. Like I said, it's been very slow, very methodical. Go look at the last time Bitcoin hit 20,000. Look at that movement. Look at the 30 days leading up to that. And then look at the 30 days leading up to where we're at right now. And you will see that there's been nothing about any of these movements that have been parabolic, a spike. There's been no spike. It's been very slow, very methodical. I will also say this. I know a lot of people that are starting to get into the grayscale Bitcoin trust. What is this? There's Bitcoin, Ethereum Classic, Litecoin. All of these have trusts. These are a way for traditional investors to get into Bitcoin, to get into Ethereum without actually having to get in them. They're stocks. Now, why is this important? Well, you have an older generation of people that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s. Some of them are in their 80s if they're lucky enough or unlucky enough to live that long, depending on how hard of a life they've had. And these people don't want to learn about cryptocurrency. They don't want to learn about Bitcoin. They don't want to get a wallet. They don't want to get on Coinbase. They don't want any of that, okay? What they want is they want to be able to go get in their Ameritrade account and they want to be able to buy some Bitcoin. That's what they want to do. And so I actually know several people personally who have done this in the last couple of weeks. They've been asking me, they've been saying, BitBoy. I'm just kidding. They don't call me BitBoy. Call me by my name. My mother gave me that name, Ben. They say, Ben, how do I get into Bitcoin? How do I get into Ethereum? I said, well, you got to download Coinbase. I said, I ain't with all that. How do I do it in my stock account? So I say, look up Grayscale. Bitcoin Trust is GBTC. I believe that, I can't remember exactly what the Ethereum, I think it's ETHE, maybe that's the ticker for it, for the Grayscale Ethereum Trust. But regardless, we've got these other investors coming in, getting in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in alternative ways. And I think that's really important to know that this is getting to a further reach of people right now. We're getting people that weren't interested before, and now they're interested. I think that's huge. Another big thing that happened, my father-in-law, okay, he actually called me the other day and said, hey, I want to get into Bitcoin. I downloaded Coinbase. Transaction isn't going through. I said, well, when that happens, you got a couple options, okay? You can either contact Coinbase, but I would first suggest, because it's going to be easier, contacting your bank, because your bank will tell you if your transaction is getting declined on Coinbase. They'll tell you whether it is going to be due to the Coinbase side or the bank side. You know what his bank told him? Sir, we have Coinbase as a fraudulent website. It's fraud, and we're not going to let you make transactions on there. What the? You got to be kidding me. Fraud. Coinbase. We're fighting a battle. You guys got to remember this. We're not only making money, we're fighting a battle. And some of these banks are digging in. It's going to be a long one, but it's going to be a fun one. 2021 is going to be the most fun year of your entire life. That's guaranteed if you're in cryptocurrency. All right, guys, drop me a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about all the stuff we talked about today. That's all I got. Be blessed. BitBoy out.